Dang it. Come on. Oh, no. Sorry. We didn't see you guys there. We're in the middle of an intense soccer match right now.
Come on.
Seriously? Get over there.
My turn.
Anyway, welcome to the BoxCast podcast. Today, we're going to talk about, well, pretty much
this.
Video games. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the intense industry of video game live streaming.
Oh, teleport. Gotcha.
And we're going to play a little bit of Rocket League. So get ready for multitasking at its finest.
Absolutely. Wow, it's an intense match here. Danielle's never played Rocket League before.
No.
And so we're trying to school her on how to do it. But welcome. We're glad to have you. We wanted to talk a little bit about live streaming and live gaming.
Yes, it is a really large piece of the industry here. People don't think about the complexity of setups and how you have to be able to talk and play and interact and have your setup here going on. So we're really going to dive deep into that. Very excited to play Rocket League continually as we go through this. I'm not good at it, so we will see how this goes.
It'll be a challenge, but absolutely. I mean, let me give you a few stats here before we start jumping back into Rocket League and discussing some of the complexities in that, but I'll give you some stats. So the top 5 games currently right now on YouTube that are live streamed are Minecraft, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Garena, Free Fire, and Roblox.
Okay. I've heard of 3 of those.
3 of those?
3 of the 5, top 3.
Just 3 of them? Yeah. I've heard of them all. I have played probably all of them, just in some way, fashion, or form.
I have played Grand Theft Auto. I never got into like Minecraft or Fortnite, but my niece plays both of them, so I've seen them. I've never ever taken the dive myself. So.
My kid loves Minecraft. She's an absolute Minecraft fanatic. She loves it. But she watches these people on YouTube like Preston Plays and Brianna Plays and Unspeakable. Like these are all people who literally are gaming and they're doing live streaming while they're doing it.
I have watched a few Animal Crossing YouTube videos of how do I fix this or what's the new thing coming when we were all locked down and I was playing that. So it'd be like tips and tricks for new starters. And I was like, I'm new and I'm late to this game. How do I play?
You're a big Harry Potter fan.
I am.
So you did hear about the new Wizarding World Legacy, right?
Yes. I am stoked trying to figure out which device I'm going to play it on come December. So currently have a Switch and an Xbox, maybe buying a PS5 just for that. We'll find out. I'm going to watch any of those beta testers and see what the quality are. So yeah, I'm very excited. I do love playing video games. We played a lot at our house. We play a lot of Mario Kart, Smash Bros, very much of those like fun, interactive ones. We don't usually live stream, but we do usually play with friends online. So we'll have Discord up and we'll be crap talking each other all day and being like, dang it, quit throwing your bananas at me. But it's super fun. We love it. It's definitely something that happens. And I know there are a lot of people who really love watching these gamers play. Like,
absolutely. It's huge.
They make so many followers. They make a lot of money sometimes on some of these. Like I know e-gaming and video game building have actually become more popular in terms of college majors. I know like my alma mater recently added e-gaming as a major and they have like a club and everything. And that's so cool. Like I think it's very interesting that like couple years ago, they're like, video games are really bad for you. And now they're like, here's a college major. And so I'm very excited about that.
In 2021, viewers actually spent over 3.9 billion hours watching broadcasts on Facebook alone.
Wow.
On Facebook alone. So, I mean, that's incredible. And then, of course, you probably, our audience, maybe they have heard of a little platform called Twitch.
Yes. A little bit, maybe.
A little Twitch, owned by Amazon, but Twitch, that platform, they literally offer the largest market share platform, and then they have just over, in this month alone, just June, over 625 million watched hours.
Wow.
Of footage of live streamed gaming and gaming content. It's incredible. I'm going to do this real fast. There we go. So it's incredible. In fact, video game live streaming has probably increased in the last 5 years, 100% or more.
And I can only imagine how 2020 and early 2021 just sped that on up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
completely. I mean, we saw the rise of TikTok and social media platforms for dancing and things you could do at home. And like, I can only imagine the amount of views and gamers who started streaming. I know one of our writers here, her son has been working on kind of streaming his games, and like, it's cool. Like, they're getting into that. He's at that age where like he's playing some games. He wants to stream them. It's a little fun. Mom works for a streaming company. So like, why not? And I think that's so intriguing that like, you can do that now. Like, I mean, I wasn't even allowed to have like video games as a kid. I was like not allowed to play them. And eventually one day we got like a Wii, and I was like, this is the coolest thing. Could you imagine trying to live stream me playing
you know that,
a
right?
Wii tennis? Like, yeah, like in my parents' basement.
Oh, it's so goofy. She's dating it to the Wii. Oh my.
I did have a Nintendo. We did have like a 64 at a friend's.
Oh, see, so you're going. You gotta go further back.
You have Sega,
Atari.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I played them, but I didn't have.
I had an Atari as a young kid, and then an SNES.
Back.
That's right. I am an old man. But in turn of that, today we want to discuss some of the things that it takes to do this.
Yes.
Like, so for example, you're not gonna be able to see it very well, but if we get the wide camera, you can see that we have our various platforms and systems here. So we have the Xbox Series S here. We have a Nintendo Switch. That's not the OLED version, is it?
No, just the basic.
Just the baby. It's just
the basic. Came with Mario Kart.
And then
super stoked.
We have a PS5. This is the Drive version of the PS5.
Yes.
So, but we're primarily working on the Xbox S right now, Series S, and right now we're outputting this HDMI 1080 or 4K, I believe it's coming out, and then we're outputting it into a HDMI splitter. So so when we talk about setup stuff for at least live streaming your video games, your source is obviously your Xbox or your console, and then or if you're playing PC games, it's your screen of your game. And that's going to go out into some sort of capture device. Now, we're using a splitter because obviously we have a giant TV behind the cameras, as you can't see. Wade has to get a feed in, so I'm sure he's doing all of his magic right now through the live switcher. But we have to put it in so it gets captured.
Yes.
A lot of times you may not be doing some like large setup like this. Maybe you're using like OBS.
You're probably using like a table and a camera and your Xbox.
Absolutely. Maybe you're using like OBS as your capture software. So you're just capturing maybe a webcam and your console or webcam and your desktop.
You might have your headphones with your mic
for your audio.
I mean, you're going to use those when you're playing with people, but you also might use that as like how you're talking to your audience as when they're online. So.
And Wade is using an ATEM switcher right now to actually bring everything in, and then he's going in and he's moving them to lower thirds, and then he's actually like switching between the main actual console and then us.
Yes.
So what you see is not hard to do. It's actually fairly easy and can be inexpensive depending on what you already have and don't have.
Yes.
So but that's the crazy thing about this is that there's a lot of things that you have to consider. So I do have a question for you though, DK.
Okay.
What's your favorite game of all time?
Oh, Mario.
I'm gonna win.
Yeah, Gary's cheating. He hits pause when unpause when I'm talking. No, I love Super Mario Bros. I love completing the world. But it's definitely it's any of the Mario franchise. I love it.
You're a Nintendo girl.
Hence the shirt today. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many hours we put in to Mario Kart. Oh my gosh, there's probably 400 or 500 hours of Mario Kart on my Switch log.
Oh, and wow.
Then, we have all of them, like the golden things, except for the golden tires because those are time trials. And now that there's so many people playing it, it's really hard to beat people.
Oh, wow.
So I'm content with the golden car and the golden glider, but that's okay. So
Wow.
All right.
My favorite?
Your favorite?
Halo.
Oh, we've been playing that. Did you watch the TV show?
I did not like it.
Okay, well, we won't plug that then.
I did not like the TV show, but I love Halo. I've loved Halo since it's come out. Halo for me is one of those quintessential first-person shooter games that just this a great story and it makes sense and it really is a fun and interactive game to play.
Yes. It's good to play. I think what's nice is I think Halo's easy enough to play and learn when you're first starting something. A friend of mine used to play it on her Xbox 360. We had a Halo 2. We would just play the open map.
Halo 2.
We would play the open map by ourselves and just track each other and play that way. We also occasionally would play campaign. My fiance and I we have played campaigns now. I think we finished all of Halo 1. We're halfway through Halo 2.
Oh yeah,
We're going back through playing them all.
those are great.
He absolutely leads that, and I drive the cars around. So
Oh, the Warhogs, yeah.
yeah, I'm not a good driver if you're watching this. Clearly, I'm really good at Mario Kart though, but I'm not good at like this type of stuff. But yeah, I'd rather much drive the Warthog than shoot. But sometimes he makes me shoot because I just like move the buttons and do this vibe, and I just span, all of them. So.
Well, I like Halo because of the factor that it's just I put it on Legendary and I go, but it's one of those games.
I'm on easy.
No, I do Legendary, but so you have to kind of like. There's an aspect to live streaming these that most people. I mean, I'm not quite sure I understand entirely like what the allure is to watching somebody play the game. Like I've always was like. Always upset that I couldn't actually like play the game because somebody else was playing.
Yeah, you're like, hey man, pass that controller through the screen
right.
here. No, I get that. I think for me, like if I'm ever watching someone else play, it's likely like knowledge. I'm trying to understand how to do it better.
But clearly there's something to this live streaming a video game that, I mean, you have 3.9 billion viewers, right?
So I think the first piece when we talk about streaming, you talked about the breakdown of how you get it from console and TV to splitter, but like a big piece of that obviously is your audio and being able to either hear the people you're playing with if you're playing in a group and you're live streaming that, or being able to talk to your audience. This goes back to that engagement piece and like multitasking. So obviously like we are presenting this podcast while we're trying to play this game. if it's up on the screen, we're not doing well.
I'm doing very well.
Okay, Gary's kicking my butt here, but one of those things is like you have to be able to interact and talk. And so when we talk about these gamers who have millions and millions of followers, they clearly have to have some type of small team with them. The biggest
maybe you think?
I would say they probably do to an extent. Like when we just watched that replay that happened, like that could have been the time where we're like scrolling through trying to read some comments and answer some questions. But if we're trying to live answer questions and there's no pausing, you got to have somebody there to help read it. You got to have that moderator. You got to have someone who's having that conversation. I mean, yes, because you're not hearing anyone else talk to you in the mic.
That's interesting. I know there's like some live streamers, like not to call it very few, but I know that they're single player, like they don't have anybody except for what they're doing. I've seen that, but I think in terms of like live streaming, we talked about the simple setup, but you've also got to probably lean into platform. Like there are 5 or 6 of them out there between Twitch. I know Mixer is another one. And I there's like 3 or 4 others that you can like set up a live stream in just a few minutes.
Right.
And live stream your video games and then put it in a subcategory. So you do have to you have to choose a platform. Now, BoxCast, we can do that with BoxCast as well.
Yeah.
You know, BoxCast has the ability of ingesting your video content and then putting it out. And so with that, so let's talk just based on what we know and what we've researched. What are some best practices that we would want to use for live streaming a video game?
Yeah. I mean, I think this goes back to any live streaming production is good lighting. Like, obviously, you're going to have people who think the aesthetic is like in the dark with just the TV lit up. And like, that's their brand. That's their aesthetic. Like, totally fine. But if you are watching somebody, you want to see them in the chair. They're probably reclined. They've got their headset on. They're talking, and they're in their zone. And that's like you got to have that aesthetic. I think that's a big piece. Like you don't think about that in terms of production. You don't when you talk about it. You're not like, oh, how do I want to sit? What do I want to do? Like, obviously, there's some type of like natural flow to that. Like, but. You know, if you're notorious for always wearing a baseball cap or, you know, maybe you have your identity like covered up, you wear like a mask or something, like you got to think about those things, like the aesthetic of your stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Another big thing is like, I know we harp on like video cameras and audio and all that jazz. Yeah, I mean, you obviously have to have all of that, but like having a decent microphone in place, a decent place to actually do it.
Yeah.
Camera is an important piece of this, but it's not as important as the quality of output that you're putting from your console. Right?
Obviously, if you're streaming a game, one, you hopefully have a good enough internet to play the game, or it's downloaded. If you're playing online, you're not having that lag and buffer. But yes, bringing it out of it. Like, no one wants to watch Gary playing this game if it's blurry and they can't see what's happening at all. Like, that's going to ruin the stream.
Right. I know we're outputting, I think it's 4K off the Xbox, and I think it's downgrading into 1080p from the switcher, so I know we're getting a decent quality.
Right.
But in most games, I mean, you'll see a lot of gamers, they are streaming in 4K. Looks pretty good. It's pretty clean. And that whole piece to making sure the quality is decent is also making sure that they can see you. Like, you've got to be able to be seen in the video, right? So we have a really good tech tips video that Wade did a while back about how to use a green screen to put behind you, and then you can kind of pull out your background so it looks like you're sitting there. You'll see a lot of that happening with live streamers who are video game streamers, that they're literally kind of keying out the background and it's just them in the game.
Yeah.
And
you
being
might
presented
be picture-in-picture
right,
style.
yeah.
You might, you don't want like that awkward brick behind you in like the square. Like, you don't want it to look like a Zoom call. You want it to look like you're professionally streaming this. And one of, I think, the things there is like making sure that you understand your surroundings. We kind of talked about this in another episode, but make sure there's no weird things on your wall, or there's not a door behind you and like mom comes in saying, hey, it's time
Jimmy,
for dinner.
I got your sandwich.
Right. You don't want that. You can get out, mom. Like,
Mom.
Classic movie scene where the kid's playing a video game. Get out. And you shut the door.
I'm live streaming my video game right now.
But to that extent, like, obviously, if you're going to spend a couple hours, setting up, a couple hours playing, you want to make sure that you have the right surroundings going on.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you can tell, I know one of the biggest things that these video game streamers do is that they actually play and talk at the same time. Hit that button. Anyway, and we're not really good at this. Obviously, we're not live stream video game players, but it is an art. I think it's an art form because it really takes a really good mind to be able to play and talk.
Multitasking ability.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I can talk, but I'm not going to be able to look at the camera and look at this. And like the biggest part, with stuff is being able to, interact, talk to people, do things. I have no idea what I just did.
She has no idea what just happened either. But no, obviously I'm looking at the camera right now, and the television that we're using is right behind us. It's really hard to look at a camera and then look at this and look back. But there's a whole aspect. I think it takes a little bit of training to do.
Yes. And I think one of the other things is when you're streaming video games, it's raw. Like, there's no like, oh, pause, time out. Hey, Wade, cut this. We're going to come back. Like, it's live. You are live and you are playing.
And you are in charge.
If you say the wrong word, they're going to hear it. If you... I literally just set you up a score. Dang it.
She did, yeah.
But missed it. Double jump.
There's a lot of cognizance here that you have to be conscious of when it comes to doing something like this.
Right. Obviously, if like your channel's known for explicit language, then okay, you don't have to watch yourself. But obviously, if you're trying to be more family friendly, obviously certain platforms will only let you use certain words. They may filter you out. Obviously, copyright issues are a big thing.
Copyright issues. That's a big
that's a big
one.
Thing. Like I don't know the logistics of when you're streaming a game, the copyrights of that. We can definitely look that up and drop that in the comments below on here in the description. But like, I think the biggest thing, like obviously, you're playing a game, you have to have some type of.
You think there's a copyright thing? I don't know about copyright when it comes to video games because I have not seen anything on any stream that has like a copyright problem or somebody's got a copyright issue. Maybe it is. And if you do know, let us know in the comments if you know anything about that. We'd love to be able to know
about that. We've prefaced, we are not experts in this topic.
No,
but we are experts in live streaming, and we can definitely talk to that aspect. And so I think one of the other things you need to have is kind of like, we talked a little bit about it, but that picture-in-picture is important.
I think it is too. Yeah, you got to be able to see the person as they're being engaged. Like
right now, it just looks super weird that we're not talking to each other or to the camera, and our fingers are moving. And this right, I've got spiky things.
Yeah, get out of here! I kicked you out. No, I think this is a really cool aspect to. Oh, I moved the wrong direction. A really cool aspect to video gaming is the fact that when you do live stream it, your engagement is obviously placed in one way or another. So when you place your camera setups in this, you got to be able to have it so that they can still see you. Oh, she blew me up, or did she score?
No, I scored in your goal.
Oh, she scored in my goal. You got to be able to see the
No.
person, obviously, right? So when the camera's in the front, it's got to be visible.
Yes, you want the camera very much on you.
Dead on, right in the middle.
You
right?
could get complex and have a camera overhead with your hands if you really want people to see that. I don't know how intriguing that would be. Obviously, if like, you know, you're hitting some certain cheat code, people are going to see that. But I think
ABB, YYY.
Yeah, but I think to that point though, you know, it's really about making sure that I don't know what that was. Whatever you're doing, it fits you and it fits your audience. The biggest piece here is It's not going to be audience participation. It's going to be how they're viewing it. They may be participating in a chat. Like I know on Twitch, you can chat on the side. You can do all that stuff. But like, and obviously there's other ways on the side, especially on a platform like Twitch, where you can like donate money or like things or, you know, all that kind of stuff that really helps a thing. You know, they've got sponsors. You can get really complex. I mean,
there's a lot to it.
I really think like honestly, video game streamers are like the original influencers in a sense.
They can be, yeah.
Because they were doing this. They've been doing it for a while. They've had sponsors. I mean, obviously you think back to like podcasts have a lot of sponsors, like all those things. Like there's a complexity of that. I mean, we talked in a different episode about hybrid events and like, you know, there are a lot of times where they've got like these e-gaming events that they are doing live where it's like 4 people on the thing. They're all trying to beat each other. And they're streaming that to the larger room and they're streaming that to an audience out as well. And that's something like to think about. Like that's a huge complexity. But the topic here we're really talking about is that individual live stream from home. Maybe you've got 2 other people with you if you've got a little group or something. But there's so many ways to make this go from very simple to very complex.
Yes, but the cool thing is that the technology is available nowadays that you can do this on a very easy, quick budget.
Yes.
You don't have to do it with, as long as you have the console already or you know the game systems already with your excuse me, with your PC. Really, you can use a webcam and some capture cards, bring it into OBS, and then you're all set. I think the biggest part of this is like everybody has a fantasy or has a dream that they are a live stream YouTuber who's streaming their video games, and then it turns out that they can't monetize or, you know, turn their passion of video gaming into something, you know, where it makes money. And I just want to make sure that everybody out there in podcast world is super understanding. It's just like sports, okay? Not everyone is going to turn this into a business.
And that's okay.
And that's
like honestly,
fine.
like hobbies are probably more fun at that rate.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, you can make money out of it. There are a lot of e-gamers that have a lot of big sponsors that go to all these tournaments. And you have those people.
Esports are huge right now.
You have a lot of people who just do it for fun. They literally do it to just build that community. You know, you may like you may have, you know, I lost it.
Community.
Yeah. You may build up that community online of friends and people that you trust, and you want to like that's your happy place. Is you go to them and you play the game and like you escape from everything that's going around you, like work or school not going well. Like it's an opportunity to just kind of decompress and let it go. But obviously, if you put a lot of pressure onto it, then
it stops being fun.
It's not going to be fun anymore.
Yeah. So we just wanted to like give you a heads up. We wanted to give you a little taste as to what this would look like on the BoxCast side of things. Like BoxCast, you know, we're recording this right now, but we've seen users who do this on a regular basis where they use our platform to live stream their video games and their video game playing, and so it can be done. So if you have any more questions, please like hit us up. I mean, again, we're not like the biggest experts on the video game streaming thing, but we think it's kind of interesting. It's pretty neat.
We might start our own channel now.
We might, yeah. It's Danielle and the Rage Quit Kid. But listen, if you do this on a regular basis, let us know in the comments. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, we'd love to see your setups too. Like, feel free to email us, like DM us, all of that stuff. We would love to know more about how you can either make it simplified or complex, or, you know, what are you using? What kind of tools, tips? We would love to add that to our kit.co as well. You know, we want to provide that information and resource knowledge sharing for everyone.
Absolutely.
We love video games. Obviously, we've got quite the gamut here. We bought themed shirts for today.
For this gig.
Like, We are excited. We're ready. We think the biggest thing to remember is have fun. Honestly, this is one of those
Absolutely.
ones where you can have fun with it. It's not pressurized unless you put pressure on yourself. So
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. For
all
sure.
right.
Well, thank you for joining us as I, pretty much
He
whomped
crushed me.
on Danielle here, and we appreciate
To
it.
be fair, I've never played till today and until about like 30 minutes ago. So we're going to hook up Mario Kart. I'm going to crush Gary.
Yes.
And we hope you have happy streaming.
Happy streaming.